Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2026, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 78 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 and Viksit Bharat in 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
पुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं पुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं पुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं पुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations and celebrations. Today, on 17th February, is commemorated as Global Tourism Resilience Day. Tourism supports millions of direct and indirect jobs all over the world, in particular for women and young people. So, for some small island states and developing countries, tourism accounts for over 20% of gross domestic product (GDP). The economic contributions of tourism direct GDP was estimated at $1.9 trillion in 2021, higher than $1.6 trillion recorded for 2020, but still well below the pre-pandemic value of $3.5 trillion. So for many developing countries, including the least developed countries, small island developing states, countries in Africa and middle income countries, tourism is a major source of income, foreign currency, earnings, tax revenue, and employment. Because tourism connects people with nature and sustainable tourism has unique ability to spur environmental responsibility and conservation. Sustainable tourism, including ecotourism, is a cross-cutting activity that can contribute to the dimensions of sustainable development and achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals by fostering economic growth, alleviating poverty, creating full and productive employment, and decent work for all. It can also play a role in accelerating the change to more sustainable consumption and production patterns and promoting the sustainable use of oceans, seas, and marine resources, promoting local culture, improving the quality of life, and the economic empowerment of women and young people, indigenous peoples, and local communities, and promoting rural development and better living conditions for rural populations, including smallholder and family farmers. The use of sustainable and resilient tourism as a tool to foster sustained and inclusive economic growth, social development, and financial inclusion enables the formulation of the informal sector, the promotion of domestic resources resource mobilization, and environmental protection and the eradication of poverty and hunger, including the conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity and natural resources, and the provision of investment and entrepreneurship in sustainable tourism. So, Global Tourism Resilience Day, 17th February, proclaimed by the General Assembly in Resolution 77 by 269, aims to emphasize the need to foster resilient tourism development to deal with the shocks, taking into account the vulnerability of the tourism sector to emergencies. It is also a call for action for member states to develop national strategies for rehabilitation after disruptions, including through private public cooperation and the diversification of activities and products. The UNWTO Tourism Data Dashboard provides statistics and insights on key indicators for inbound and outbound tourism at the global, regional, and national levels. Data covers tourist arrivals, tourist share of exports and contribution to GDP, source markets, seasonality, and accommodation data on number of rooms, guests, and nights. So 2027 is the International Year of Sustainable and Resilient Tourism. In February 2024, the General Assembly decided to proclaim 2027 the International Year of Sustainable and Resilience Tourism. It encourages all states, the United Nations system, and all other actors to take advantage of the International Year to promote actions at all levels, including through international cooperation and to support sustainable and resilient tourism as a means of promoting and accelerating sustainable development. Today is also commemorated as Unlock to Digital TV Day in US. Americans celebrate Unlock to Digital TV Day on February 17th annually, which is an unofficial holiday celebrating the transition of TV broadcast from analog to digital. Analog TVs are the earliest type of television technology in which visuals and sounds are controlled by the modification of waves and frequencies. In contrast, a digital TV is a high-definition television where visuals and sounds are encoded into numbers, giving it a better resolution, clearer and sharper pictures, undistorted sounds, and other enhanced features. As all upgrades, digital TVs greatly improve users' experience, and we understand why their adoption is being celebrated. Today is also commemorated as Angola Carnival Day in Angola, which is an annual celebration that typically falls on a Tuesday before Ash Wednesday in a 3-day calendar of events. This year is from to 19th. The carnival, a top attraction to tourists, proudly takes a seat as one of the Southern African nation's most anticipated events. There are glamorous costumes and vibrant colors. Participants are embraced by nature. Dancing without a care in the world, they will find a refreshing dose of culture and a glorious spirit to go with it. The tradition amazingly dates back to when it was a Portuguese colony. Today is also commemorated as Brazilian Carnival in Brazil, celebrated on Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, and the upcoming date falls on February 17th. The carnival is marked by colorful costumes, samba music and dance, and grand parades and food festivals. This is a perfect opportunity to engage in overindulgence before starting the period of Lent. The carnival depicts different cultures, primarily Portuguese and African. A lot of tourists from all around the globe are eager to experience the world's biggest carnival. Brazilian carnival fills the atmosphere of Brazil with joy, enthusiasm, and amusement. Today is also commemorated as Champion Crab Races Day on February 17th in US, which hosts a very interesting sporting event on February 17th. A typical crab race event requires people to enter crabs in competitions with the chance to win prize money. Competing crabs enter about 12 to 14 heat races. The winner of each race goes on to compete in the championship race. The race begins with the competing crabs under a bowl in the middle of racing ring. Once the bowl is lifted, the race starts and it's pure anticipation until the winning crab crosses out the ring. Today is also commemorated as Chinese New Year on February 17th in China and Nepal. If you feel the ground trembling beneath your feet on February 17th, don't fear. It's simply the beginning of the Chinese New Year. You'll find a full 20% of their population celebrating using more fireworks than any other day of the year. It is also commonly referred to as Lunar New Year or Spring Festival. Celebration lasts for 15 days, 7 of which are work free. During this fun period, families get together, cash gifts are handed to young people, and homes are thoroughly cleaned to usher in fresh blessings for the new year. Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year is a 15-day festival that is celebrated annually depending on the sighting of the new moon. The occasion is also known as Spring Festival, and an animal is associated with each new year. The animals rotate and report according to a fixed cycle. Today is also commemorated as Chinese Spring Festival, mark the start of Chinese New Year and typically begins on 23rd of 12th Chinese lunar month. This year it falls on February 17th. The celebration usually ends on the 15th day of the first lunar month. With shops and other business already open by the fifth day of the first month. So there are similarities between Spring Festival celebration in China and Mauritius, as the day is preceded by the tradition of warding off bad luck as it is in China. Then the day is characterized by the preparation of wealth of delicious traditional Chinese dishes. Today is also commemorated as Ecuador Carnival on February 17th in Ecuador, which is a popular event also known as Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday in the US, which takes place on the last Tuesday before Lent in February or early March. This year it takes place on February 17th. The holiday has religious origins and traditions. It is considered to be a Christian holiday to indulge in life. It occurs just before the season of Lent. It serves as a remembrance of the suffering of Jesus on the cross. There are unique traditions that mingle indigenous celebrations with Catholic roots of Carnival. The traditions differ. In some towns, especially the ones with large indigenous populations, the Ecuador Carnival celebrations are a part of indigenous beliefs and practices in Guarani. Today is also commemorated as Fastnacht Day in Germany and US, which is a holiday that celebrate on Tuesday in the seventh week before Easter, and this year it falls on February 17th. Originated in Germany and is in Pennsylvanian Dutch celebration held a day before Ash Wednesday. As a tradition, Germans indulge in delicious donut pastries before the Lenten fast, a period of fasting observed by Catholics and Protestants. This practice gave rise to the name Fastnacht, which means the night before Lent begins. These pastries are prepared in three different ways, although they are similar to regular donuts. Their preparation method makes them less sweet. Passion can also be spelled in many ways, like Fastnacht and Fastnacht and Fashionat are also ready to celebrate yummy treats. So February 17th revolution is celebrated in Libya on February 17th, which is a Libyan holiday commemorated on today, also known as the Day of Revolt. It is regarded as one of the most important events in Libya's history, as it marked the beginning of the end of colonial Gaddafi's 4-decade authoritarian rule. This day also reminds Libyans of the struggle and lives lost in demanding a democratic Libya, where human rights exist in their true form. During this period, Libya went through a series of tumultuous events. The Arab Spring is considered by many as the principal catalyst that led to the February 17th revolution in Libya. Today is also commemorated as Korean New Year on February 17th in Korea, also known as Seolal, falling on February 17th. This year is a festival and national holiday that usually occurs in January or February on the second new moon after the winter solstice, unless there is an intercalary 11th or 12th month in the lead up to the new year. It marks the first day of the Korean calendar and it is one of the most important traditional Korean holidays. Today is also commemorated as Kosovo Independence Day in Kosovo, which is a national holiday observed annually every February 17th in commemoration of declaration of the Balkan national independence. In 2008, Kosovo, the second youngest country in the world, Southeastern Europe, on February 17, 2008, made a declaration of independence from Serbia following a deadly war from March 5, 1998 to June 11, 1999. Forces of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, Serbia on Montenegro, and the Kosovo Albanian rebel group, Kosovo Liberation Army, came at each other savagely, gaining widespread attention. The conflict came to a halt following the North Atlantic Treaty Organizations, in short known as NATO, intervention by airstrikes in March 1999. Yugoslavia forces then withdraw from Kosovo. Today is also commemorated as Libyan Revolution Day in Libya, which is held annually on February 17th, a significant and national holiday commemorating the 2011 revolt against the Libyan authoritarian dictator and revolutionist colonel Muammar Gaddafi, ushering in freedom from a 42-year stronghold of brutal rulers. The throne of the rural leadership attained via ousting King Idris in a military coup in September 1969 was plagued with corruption linked to terrorism, horrific human rights abuses, and military interference. The revolutionist was ousted on February 17, 2011. It is also commemorated as the My Way Day in US, celebrated every February 17th, is a fun celebration urging us to live life authentically and apologetically and to play by our own rules without fear. And it's your life, and the history isn't documented. And My Way Day is said to be a brainchild of actor Thomas Roy and his writer Ruth, who both run Wellcat Herbs and Wellcat Holidays. Today is also commemorated as National Cabbage Day in US on February 17th. We are here to give this humble vegetable makeover. The use of cabbage dates back to 4000 BC, with origins in Asia, specifically North China and the Eastern Mediterranean region of Europe. Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, bok choy, kohlrabi, and kale are considered part of cabbage family. Cabbage is a staple in European and Indian cuisine. The West-style cabbage brings a variety of flavors to the dinner table and can be prepared in many different ways, such as pickle, sauteed, stew, etc. There is also commemorated as K-Food Late Day in US on February 17th, which is an annual fun celebration that takes place the perfect holiday for coffee lovers around the world. French delight, K or late, translated as coffee with milk, is a sweet, delicious beverage made from freshly brewed coffee as a base, then ground with steamy or delicious milk. Lots of it. All the similar variants with the Italian cafe latte, coffee, espresso, and steamed milk. Spanish cave, con leche, espresso, and scalded milk. Portuguese cave.com leche. Coffee with hot milk. Among several variants, they slightly differ in terms of ratios and method of serving. Today is also commemorated as National Public Science Day on February 17th in the US to February 19th every year since 1989. This holiday was established by the American Association for the Advancement of Science and highlight the importance of discussing emerging scientific issues. It is an annual opportunity to engage the general public in debates around about the role of science in a peaceful and sustainable society. It also draws attention to some of the challenges scientists face and help support solving some of the issues. To honor the scientists around the world, to help students who inspire them to be them by giving them resources to pursue their desired knowledge. There is also commemorated as National Random Acts of Kindness on February 17th in US. You are constantly mumbling things to yourself like people these days are just rude. What happened to the good days when everyone was polite? Sounds familiar? Of course, it does. For those of you that wish you could change the world, Random Act of Kindness Day on February 17th is just for you. And today is also commemorated as National Tennis Pro Day in the US on February 17th. It's the day for honoring professional tennis players who coach and guide recreational players. On this day, avoid recreational tennis players and pay their respects to professionals for coaching and sharing their experiences with them. So it is a day for mantis to appreciate and celebrate their mentors. Coaches are of equal significance in the lives of both recreational and professional players. Even the big three of tennis, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic, openly credit a large part of their success to their coaches. Today is also commemorated as Simplot Games in US on February 17th. Is a Simplot Games is a track and field event that happens every year on February 17th to 19th. It takes place at Holt Arena, Idaho State University. The JR Simplot Company sponsors the game. Over 1,500 high school athletes from all over the US and Canada come together to compete at Simplot Games. It is held on the weekend of the third Saturday in February. The first game was held in 1979, and the unique 200-meter backboard track in Holt Arena is one of the fastest in America. Since the track debuted, athletic records have been regularly broken. Today is also commemorated as Travel Africa Day on February 17th in Central African Republic, an informal promotional holiday event launched by Social Media Week Lagos on the 3rd or 4th Tuesday of February. The day aims to create awareness and promote travel in African continent. The event showcases the African continent as a travel destination, highlighting Africa's wildlife and rich cultures. So Travel Africa Day offers important information, panels and consultations by travel bloggers and companies. The information provided covers the financial and aesthetic aspects of travel in Africa. The day forms part of the social media annual event and attracts scene makers from various African countries. There is also commemorated as Who Shall I Be Day in US on February 17th. This is a day to take a break and contemplate what you want to become. In a world where there are infinite possibilities to become whatever we want, it can be confusing and poetic to choose. This day is created to help people make the best decision on who they shall be. Take a deep breath, think about all the possible outcomes, analyze your strengths and weaknesses, calculate your interests and dislikes, and finally recognize what you want to be. Today, we are also commemorating Human Spirit Day. Today is also commemorated as World Human Spirit Day on February 17th internationally, annually on February 17th as a day to encourage mindfulness through meditation, to get us to form the habit of constant reflection as a way to feel content in our pressure-filled society. According to Daniel Hellman, it is a respected philosopher in the space of spirituality. The spirit is a mental function of awareness, insight, understanding, judgment, and other reasoning. In Christianity, it is emphasized that the human spirit is a real person, the essential part of our existence. World Human Spirit Day aims to help strengthen the connection to our spiritual self as a way to stay grounded even amid societal pressure. World Human Spirit Day was started in 2003 by Michael Levy to serve as a day to promote a human spirit that lives a creative, peaceful, and loving life. This day is based on the belief that the human spirit represents a place of peace and tranquility that needed as an escape from our pressure-filled society. It aims to encourage mindfulness through meditation to get us to form the habit of constant reflection as a way to feel content in our society. Throughout the modern era, the question of what the human spirit truly is and how it helps us escape our sometimes unfavorable world has been a question philosophers have tried to answer. The holiday is meant to serve as a recognition of the fact that we know about our world is limited. The superficial, it is a day everyone is encouraged to reflect on their achievements in the world as humans and stay connected by contemplating the endless possibilities of even greater achievements as spirits. The day seeks to help strengthen the connection of our spiritual self as a way to stay grounded even amid societal pressure. World Human Spirit Day is a day to search for contentment from within and to embrace the fact that we do not have all the answers. A day to give some higher power thanks for what we have and yet to have. And it is typically observed to promote the value of mental peace and satisfaction in our lives. So, on World Human Spirit Day, everyone is encouraged to meditate to find the spirit of freedom and peace that lives within each of us. Silence is a way to connect to the spirits, and when done right, it can renew and refresh us. Show appreciation. One of the things that can occur with meditation is a proper reflection and putting past or current events into context. Hence, showing gratitude is another way to celebrate World Human Spirit Day. Search within yourself for contentment and to accept that we can't have answers to everything. Think of how to practice a lot more gratitude, mindfulness, and self. So take to social media to spread awareness and encourage participation in meditation. Persuade people to form the habit of constant reflection and yoga as a way to feel content in our unpleasant society. To celebrate World's Human Spirit Day, share your thoughts using the hashtag hash Human Spirit Day. According to Greek philosopher Pythagoras in his theory of metempsychosis, the human spirit is immortal and upon death enters into a new body. So there are four types of spirituality recognized today: mystical, active practical, prophetic practical, and ascetic. Four types of spirituality. Over the years, the concept of spirituality has changed from a purely religious one to a more broad practice that stands even outside of religion, the concept of spirituality. So, the three main elements of spirituality recognized by shamans, healers, sages, and people of wisdom from all around the world are our values, relationships, and purpose of life. So, while religion is made up to a set of beliefs that are shared by a specific group, spirituality is focused more on self practice, learning towards existentialism, spirituality versus religion. It encourages gratitude since meditation and reflection helps us put things in context and most often helps us realize how lucky we all are still to be breathing. Despite everything we think is bad in the world we live in, it motivates us to be thankful. World Human Spirit Day is particularly important because of the thankfulness it inspires. World Human Spirit Day fosters a positive mindset by encouraging mindfulness. Through meditation, it also helps us from the habit of contentment and gratitude for the things we have and changes our focus away from accumulating material possession to growing the connection of our spiritual self. So, World Human Spirit Day is celebrated in one of the most romantic and spiritually charged months of the year, February. The date is celebrated represents one of the most admired factors about this holiday is a month where external pressure for material possession could double its usual influence on us due to Valentine and all other events. World Human Spirit Day serves as an equalizer to provide calmness. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations and celebrations. We thank each and everyone for being part of these celebrations and commemorations and request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before leaving the platform. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link, different commemorations and celebrations. Take care. Good night.